Welcome, my friends. Get ready to watch one of the most chilling movie summaries filled with horror, telling the story of a twisted kidnapping. Will the police catch the person behind it? Let's find out. The movie starts with a girl named Lisa. She's 18 years old and works at a candy shop because her mother abandoned her and sent her to live with her grandmother. Unlike other kids her age, Lisa is very smart and ambitious. She wants to support herself and live independently because she wants to live alone. Her grandmother is an older woman who has relationships with men. After Lisa finishes work at night, she rides her bike back to her grandmother's house since she lives there. On the way, she remembers her grandmother's husband who always sexually assaults her while she's asleep. This caused her serious psychological trauma and made her lose trust in others. We see a black car parked by the side of the road, so she pedals quickly, afraid of being kidnapped. When she gets home, she hesitates to go inside because she's afraid her grandmother's husband will rape her as usual. The next day, Lisa writes a note saying she's tired and can't continue living this life because she's lonely and no one cares about her. We find out she has a younger sister named Lori, who lives with their mother in another city because their mother didn't like Lisa and sent her to live with their grandmother. Lisa loves her sister Lori very much and always wants to check on her. In a phone call between them, Lori says she misses her and wants to come stay with her at their grandmother's house. Lisa gets very sad because she loves her sister and doesn't want her to suffer the abuse from their grandmother's husband like she does. Lori suggests coming to stay with her for just 2 days. When their mother hears this, she speaks harshly to Lisa, saying she will never return home and that she sent her to live with their grandmother to help her. Lisa gets angry, ends the call, and heads out to work. On the way, her grandmother's husband stops her and reminds her of the day she'll get paid and demands she give him the money immediately. At night, Lisa finishes her work, and the shop owner gives her her paycheck. She thanks him for treating her kindly. It's obvious she's saying goodbye indirectly because she's thinking about suicide. She sets out to carry out her plan. Her mental state is very bad, but she thinks about her sister and how sad she'd be if she did it, so she changes her mind and keeps walking home. On the way, she notices the same black car she always sees parked on the road, but this time it moves ahead of her and pulls over. Suddenly, a man with a gun attacks her and threatens to kill her if she screams. He takes her to his car and rapes her. Afterwards, he blindfolds her so she can't recognize him, then takes her to his apartment. We learn his name is John. There, he starts asking her name and age. She lies cleverly, telling him her name is Lori and that she's 20 years old. She did this because she knows if he finds out she's underage, he'll kill her out of fear that her family will report her to the police, which would get him in serious trouble. Then he rapes her again, and it's clear he's mentally unstable. The next day, Lisa's grandmother goes to the police station and reports her missing. The officer suspects Lisa might have run away, especially since she's a young girl with a job. He asks the grandmother if there's any reason she would run away from home, and she tells him no. After some time, the officer goes to Lisa's mother and her sister Lori, and tells them Lisa is missing. But her mother responds coldly, saying she probably ran away. Lori feels worried and tells the officer Lisa wouldn't leave home without telling her, and that something definitely happened to her. The officer leaves, surprised by the mother's lack of concern over her daughter's disappearance. Back to Lisa, John rapes her violently again and tells her all women should die. Lisa treats him gently and starts touching his face to memorize his features, then tells him it seems like he hates women and that maybe a woman once broke his heart. John softens when he sees her empathy and unties her hands. Meanwhile, the police officer goes to the candy shop where Lisa worked and asks the owner if he noticed anything unusual before she disappeared. The owner says that on the day Lisa went missing, she looked very sad and thanked him for no reason, so much so that he felt like she was saying goodbye indirectly. The officer then assumes she might have committed suicide because of the pressures she was under, especially since she was just a young girl working. Back to Lisa, John gives her some food and turns on the TV. By coincidence, the news anchor announces that an 18-year-old girl who works at a candy shop has been missing for 2 days. At that moment, John gets very angry and hits her for lying to him about her age, telling him she was 20. Now he's in big trouble because the police are looking for him and there's a good chance he'll be caught. He punishes her for lying, yells at her, and assaults her again sexually. After a while, she asks him if she can use the bathroom. When he takes her there, he stays beside her to make sure she won't escape, but she convinces him to leave. She removes the cloth from her eyes, locks the door, and leaves her fingerprints everywhere. Then she stands in front of the mirror thinking of a way to convince John to let her go. When John notices she's been in the bathroom too long, he tries to open the door but finds it locked from the inside. Lisa screams and puts the cloth back over her eyes. She tries to leave a small gap so she can see a little. She then opens the door, but John attacks her and threatens to kill her if she tries that again. She calms him down and asks him to take her to the kitchen to get him a glass of water. Lisa notices there's a phone in the house and waits until John falls asleep. She tries to call the police, but John wakes up suddenly and stops her at the last moment, then restrains her. She lies to him and says she was calling her father because he's an old and sick man, and she's the only one taking care of him. John threatens to kill her. Lisa goes to his bed to sleep and realizes he's not sleeping beside her. She drops strands of her hair on the floor to leave her DNA all over the house. John comes back and apologizes again. Lisa tries to speak kindly to him, saying she likes talking to him because he's a good person, but circumstances probably forced him to do bad things. The next day, John watches TV and hears the announcer say the police are searching for a man who's killing women in a terrifying way, calling him the most dangerous criminal in America. The reason he kills women is that his wife cheated on him with a friend. John gets angry and decides to kill Lisa that day. He tells her she won't report him to the police, and that she doesn't know what he looks like. He ignores her words. He drives around looking for an isolated place to kill her. On the way, he stops at a gas station to refuel, and Lisa seizes the chance, swallows something, and puts blood on the car seat to leave evidence that will help the police catch him. John arrives at the abandoned place, pulls out his gun to kill her. Lisa tells him she's just a kid and won't report him because she doesn't know what he looks like. Unexpectedly, he believes her and doesn't kill her like the other women he murdered. Usually, John kills older victims and never leaves any traces. But Lisa's intelligence and convincing method make him spare her. He orders her not to remove the cloth from her eyes except after 5 minutes, then leaves. Lisa removes the cloth and is surprised that her plan worked. She runs quickly to her grandmother's house and tells her what happened, but unfortunately, her grandmother doesn't believe her. She thinks Lisa is lying so no one finds out she ran away. The grandmother calls the police officer and tells him Lisa is back home and doing fine, but she's lying to them, saying Lisa was kidnapped. The officer says he will come tomorrow to take Lisa to the police station to find out exactly what happened. The grandmother is afraid Lisa will tell the police about what's happening at home, how her husband rapes and abuses her. The next day, the officer comes and takes Lisa to the police station and starts investigating. Lisa tells him everything that happened. She says she made sure to leave evidence like her hair, fingerprints in John's house, and the blood in the car so they can identify him and have proof when she reports him. When Lisa tells the officer that John raped her, he doesn't believe her because there are no signs of violence on her body. So, he brings 2 female colleagues to continue the investigation, thinking they might be able to get her to open up. Lisa describes the house where she was kidnapped. One female officer is surprised when Lisa says she climbed 22 steps and passed an entire floor, meaning the criminal was on the 2nd floor. The police think Lisa is making up the story because it's impossible for a child to be kidnapped and know all those details. Lisa breaks down because no one believes her and says she has no reason to lie. Meanwhile, there's an important meeting with all the police officers. The chief says they have to catch the criminal killing women because the number of victims reached 50 girls, referring to John who kidnapped Lisa. The female officer investigating Lisa talks to an investigator named Larry and tells him everything. Larry tries to talk to Lisa, gain her trust, and tells her he's ready to protect her and get her justice. Lisa calms down and shares all the details she gathered about John, like climbing the stairs and how she recognized his face by touch. Unlike other officers, Larry believes her and admires her intelligence. He calls her family to have Lisa stay with him during the investigation, telling them he'll keep her safe until the case is closed. Her grandmother's husband is scared and tells her she has to go back home to focus on her studies. Of course, he's lying because he's afraid Lisa will tell the police what he's been doing to her. After Larry finishes talking, he goes back to Lisa and tells her her family refuses to let her stay with him. He asks about what's happening at home because he senses something strange. Lisa breaks down again and tells him everything, including that her grandmother's husband rapes her almost every day. Without hesitation, Larry arrests him and takes Lisa to her grandmother's house to pack her clothes since she'll continue the case with Larry. He assigns one of his female officers to watch over her and assures her this place is safer than her family's house, who don't care about her at all, and no one will be able to harm her while she's there. Night falls, and Lisa looks out the window, starting to imagine John, the man who kidnapped her. She screams loudly. The policewoman comes in to calm her down and understands that what happened caused her psychological trauma, making her see John all the time. The next day, Lisa sits with Detective Larry, who asks her again about the evidence she left at John's house. She tells him she left her fingerprints on the bathroom mirror, dropped some hair strands on the floor, and even hurt herself, leaving bloodstains on the couch of John's car. She also noticed that John really hates women and wants to kill them all. A little later, Larry talks to the police chief and says the serial killer thereafter could be John, the one who kidnapped Lisa. Before he finishes, the chief says that this killer never leaves any evidence and kills everyone he kidnaps. If he had kidnapped Lisa, he would have killed her long ago. Larry explains that Lisa is very smart and managed to mess with the killer's mind and convince him to let her go. When Larry feels the chief doesn't believe him, he asks to take Lisa's clothes from when she was kidnapped and send them to the forensic lab to run DNA tests and see if it matches the killer's. The chief agrees and says that if John really is the guy thereafter, then he definitely knows Lisa reported him and is probably looking for her to get revenge. Larry rushes back to Lisa, worried about her. After making sure she's okay, he moves her to a police-run shelter to keep her safe and tells her she won't be leaving anytime soon. The next day, the chief tells Larry that the forensic lab found the DNA on Lisa's clothes matches the killer's DNA, meaning John is really the one who raped her. Larry takes Lisa back to the place she was kidnapped to help find John's house. When they arrive, Lisa tries to recall what happened. Though she's overwhelmed, she's determined to help the police catch John. She sits in Larry's car and tries to describe the route based on what she remembers until they reach the abandoned place where John left her. The police confirm her description and start widening the search area. Officers spot a car matching the description Lisa gave, and surprised, it's John's car. Larry contacts a police officer and asks him to photograph the car under the pretense of investigating a recent theft involving a black car. The officer takes photos of all black cars in the area to keep John from suspecting they're after him. John believes their story and doesn't suspect a thing. Larry then shows a series of photos to Lisa to identify the criminal. She picks John's picture confidently. Soon after, the police arrest John while he's walking the streets looking for a new victim. When they search his house, they find Lisa's fingerprints in the bathroom and the hair strands she dropped on the floor. They confirm all her claims. During interrogation, John admits to being the criminal once he sees all the evidence against him. He confirms he's the one who raped women and kidnapped Lisa. He also says he was sure Lisa would be the reason he got caught because she was different from all the other victims he killed. Larry returns to Lisa and tells her they caught John and now she can finally live her life again. Lisa breaks down crying, feeling lonely and uncared for. Larry tells her he's really proud of her because, with her intelligence, she exposed the criminal in just 1 week, while the police had been searching for him for 6 months without a single lead. Later, Lisa writes a letter to her mother and looks in the mirror, remembering herself when she was kidnapped. When she leaves the shelter, Larry tells her he had thought about adopting her and letting her live with his family. She advises him to keep his personal life separate from his job and not let cases affect him emotionally. Suddenly, Lisa's uncle and his wife, who truly love her, come to apologize deeply for leaving her with her grandmother, saying they didn't know what had happened to her. Lisa starts living with her uncle, and for the first time in a long time, she's happy. Her mother reads the letter Lisa sent, where she calls her the worst mom in the world. 20 years later, Lisa becomes a famous police detective in the city, solving very difficult cases. And that's the end of the movie. If you like the movie, don't forget to hit the like button, share your thoughts, I'll reply to all comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.